right, everybody. I'm going to try to do this thing called programming, this game that, well, like I said, I'm going to try to do this. I don't know how far I'm going to get tonight. I don't know how far I'm going to get in a week. But I'm going to try to program Wordle. I'm going to try to do it using this design here that you see in front of me. We're going to do this on the command line, so it won't look like the Wordle game that you play on the New York Times website or in the New York Times crossword app. This will just be on the computer screen, the terminal screen. We're going to try to do it that way. I'm also going to spend time trying to do it in a way that will that we can do it in here. So anyway, I'm going to just try to document. Try to just program it the way I would if we didn't have the web, if we didn't have apps, if we just all we had was a terminal window, 80 characters width and 24 characters long. We're going to do it old school. So we'll see how far I get, like I said. But I do want to talk about the design and maybe get into the approach here. Here in this Keynote document, I've put together what I think are the main considerations when thinking about this game. I'm hoping people here know what Wordle is, but let me put something into the chat here. Wordle is a game. Let me just try to find a picture. If I can do this. This is didn't expect to be doing this, but just go all the way to the bottom to the games. I did announce in an earlier episode that I have a super old computer, 2013 MacBook Pro, and yeah. While this is coming up, the game itself is quite simple. I think it actually lends itself to the game that we were making earlier, which is a guessing game. Guess my number. Wordle is a word guessing game where the clues come from the letters that you input. If my computer, yeah, okay, so it's happening. That's it. That's Wordle. This is how I've been doing with it so far. 400 times I've played this. The game is only available one puzzle per day, and you can see here that as you guess a word, it will announce which letters are in the word but in the wrong place, which letters are not in the word. If you get a letter that's in the word and in the correct place, it will display a green. And then obviously if you get the entire 5-letter word, you get this nice, yeah, you get this. And now again, we're not going to do it with a UI. We're going to do it, using the command line. Oh, I've also got Xcode running. We'll get into Xcode in a little bit. I'll show you what we're going to do is where we saw yellow, we're going to have minus sign, and where we saw green, we're going to have pluses. And or we're going to ask for input the same way we did in our guessing game, which I programmed in the previous episodes. So we're going to try to, do it that way. I think where I wanted to start was this Keynote. When I think about programming a game like this, I often think about something I heard Linus Torvald say. He the inventor of Linux. I remember him saying that the key to any program is the data structure. What's the data structure? If you can get that right, then most likely you're going to get the program right. And I think thinking about programming, at least this particular game, I think about just what is it that the data will need to do? What is it that the data will need to support? And I came up with this data object called a letter. Letter has a few states. The letter is either in the word and in the correct spot. The letter is in the word but not in the correct spot. And the letter is not in the word. And this is using the colors from the game, or roughly the colors from the game. But this is the same thing. This is correct, and this is a correct one. And we got the minus signs for showing when the when the letter is in the word but not in the correct spot. So that's the first object. We're going to have a letter, and it's going to have mostly a state where we're displaying something. What we now then do to make it kind of a puzzle is to use an array of these letters. I call this object a guess row. Now, I may change my mind on that as I actually start writing some code, but this guess row will contain 5 letters, the previous objects that we looked at, these here. And this guess row will have a function that will calculate the state of each letter given a 5-letter guess. And I guess also given a 5-letter guess and a 5-letter correct word. So yeah. And then to make the game, then we just put everything into a loop. We obtain a 5-letter correct word. Then inside of the loop, we obtain a 5-letter guess. We calculate the guess row appearance. How is that? How are those 5 letters going to look like? And then we're going to calculate what each of the individual letters look like. And then if the word is correct, then we're done. If the guess count is 6 or more, actually it will only be 6. When we reach number 6, then we're going to quit the game. It's actually 6. It's actually 6. So now what I tried to do in the last 5 minutes there was describe a little bit of the design. I would probably sketch it out on a piece of paper to see if things hold up, I would probably try it on paper to see, but I'm gonna dive in and just start writing some code, maybe just to do the letter. And I think what will make this somewhat fun is I'll try to do this also in GitHub, so you can see this stuff. But one thing at a time. We'll just try out a few things first. Yeah. So this letter business and this guess row, obviously this means that we're going to have to contend with making some sort of object. How do you do that in Swift? I find the Swift documentation. I'm going to look at the Swift language documentation. We see here structures and classes, and this is how we're going to create these things that I put here in the design. We're going to start with the simplest one, the letter, and just try it. Just try it. Letter is only going to have properties. They're going to be able to be set, and the more complicated class will be the guess row. It's going to have to do a lot of work, and yeah, it's also going to have to do the drawing. At least this is how it's formulating in my mind. So in order for us to do this program in Swift, I still want to use the command line, but I did notice that the package files that I generated with Swift package are loadable in Xcode, so I may end up switching over to doing things in here. I created this by let me show you what that looked like. I'm gonna delete this one, but Swift 4 and then Swift package. Init. And when I do that, I think if I do this, I have to pass in the type. I'm going to make it executable, and you can see it already contains a git ignore, and there's a Swift 4, and I like this idea of test classes. We're going to try to do a little, we're going to try to work our tests near the same time as doing the program. I'm going to try. There's this thing out there, Extreme Programming, which touts test-driven design, TDD. I didn't grow up that way. I didn't learn programming that way. I just start programming. But it'd be good to implement the tests pretty close to when I implement the code. In test-driven design, supposedly I start writing the tests first, but I actually don't know how to do that with the Xcode tests. So here, if I take this, I could say Swift test. We'll just run it. See what it looks like. My computer. Computer is working pretty hard. I don't. You may not be able to pick it up, but my fan is blowing like there's. Yeah, like there's no tomorrow. I just realized I wasn't even plugged in. Maybe I don't know if that'll help it. Give it a little juice. I actually think it might have been when I was thinking about doing this project, I thought maybe I should do this in Python or something, which I'm a lot more fluent in, but also I'm pretty sure would work a little faster than firing up this compiler and making the computer do a lot of work. All right, I think we gave it about a minute, and I'll just we'll do is not gonna wait for it. Just close Xcode. We're gonna get to Xcode. Maybe spend time warming that up. All right. So you can see that the tests executed. There are no failures, but that's expected. And if I go into the directory with the tests, this code is doing. I mean, honestly, I don't know what this code is doing. Yeah, this is a test example, and yeah, so here it's doing some assertions. Here it's looks like it's got some data, reading data from a file, and interesting. It's expecting the file to contain the word hello world. But notice this here, pound endif. I wonder if this has something to do, if it's depending on the target. I'm not sure how to figure out the target here. Let's see if it gives me any help here. Swift package. Now we did this already, and yeah, test target. Yeah. It's pretty clear that I'll have to spend time reading about how to do these tests, but I did find some documentation that I at least started to look at. I clearly need to spend time with this too. I clearly need to spend time with this so I can make some tests here. Yeah. And I don't know about the this target environment. Bundles. Yeah. There's a lot of code to read just to understand how to do the tests that come with a standard package, but I'm up for it. I won't be doing it all live on YouTube, so let's at least spend the last 5 minutes, the last few minutes, just thinking about this. This class here. Print hello world. That's yeah, I think that was related. That's related to the test. So, yeah, I think what we'll do is just make a class, call it letter, and it will have it will of course have a property letter, which I will call and I think if I leave it at this, I can then say let A equal letter, and I just looked this up. I think it's init to initialize the class. I think I can amazed that it's not mentioned here at all. Yeah, here, initialization. Yeah, so here's an initializer, and let's just copy this, and we're gonna do some, yeah. Something like that. I'm trying to copy this. Yeah, init letter, and something like that. Oh. Argument labels. Yeah, something like this, but let's see if I did this right. Yeah, this I apologize. It's already been 27 minutes, and clearly, yeah, clearly I should rehearse a little bit more. But this is the peril of doing things live. But what I'm going to do is, in the next session, I'll have this a little bit more worked out, and we could try to implement a little bit of the logic or a little bit of the mechanisms that are here. Namely, we want this thing to be able to draw itself. Like, we'll have a function here that is display, and it will do like print letter, something like that. And it will also do, maybe it'll do and then we'll put in like the minus sign if it's like current state. We'll put here state, and state will be something like this. And then we'll be able to initialize or set the state. You see, I hope you see what I'm going for. This work will probably take me half an hour to an hour to work out the syntax. And again, it's because I don't know Swift, but get better at it. And I'm also going to have to get better at it outside of the YouTube. So thanks for checking this out, and we'll catch you on this next time. It'll be better.